Well, hello. We might Jeff Probst this and never do this again in our lives, but we'll see how this goes. Hello, everyone. This is our Subversion Live After Show. Live, actually, a literal live after show. We've never done this, and we'll see how this goes. But as you'll see, I'm joined by two amazing guests to recap the second episode of Subversion Live Season 3. Before we get to the two amazing guests, if you've not watched the second episode, then politely go do that. Because whatever we're talking about is not going to make a lick of sense if you don't go do that first. Alrighty, and yeah, and also on our YouTube page, like on all the videos, it has a link to our Discord, has a link to our Instagram. Come and interact with us. Come and join and engage in the tomfoolery. Alrighty, let's bring on the two guests. Sam's not a stranger to being here. She's been here, I think, every season doing the after show in some regard. It's Megan Barron.
Hello. I'm so good. I just need to keep reminding myself it's live. So that's so fun.
We haven't talked in a minute. Last time I saw you was a dreaded finale that did not go your way, and I'm still crying.
I'm still crying internally. Honestly, anytime I get on a StreamYard, I'm like, drama.
So, I know, right? Trigger.
It's fine.
Trigger
it's
alert.
fine. Triggered, but it's okay. I'm excited to be here and talk about everything else but that. So
I love that. Well, and she also comes from your season. Didn't last as long, but she's the fan favorite of last season. Everyone, the visceral reaction we had when her red screen came up on the finale. Yeah, we'll never financially recover from that.
No.
Oh, I love being brought into such sweet music. Thank you. Thank you. That is probably I'm gonna say it, the worst 0.2 of a second of my life. So thank you so much, Chelsea.
Yeah. It's not fun.
I think of that often. I'm gonna be honest, I think of the fact that I effectively lost that game once a month still. And it was like a year and a half ago that I played it. So that's sad. That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I hate that.
So that's some good hope for me then, and the game that I lost.
Ethan did pay me money though, so he did.
Period. As he should, because his ass was dead in the water without you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. For those who, I don't think we actually ever talked about that because I couldn't reveal that at the time, but Ethan had pretty much fully written off Sarah during the game because he went pretty low on her when Nikki left in round 3. And the only reason he kept putting points on Sarah was because Sam was like, please don't go too low on Sarah. Please keep Sarah in your options. And so Ethan does owe you money. So I'm happy he did pay you because he rightfully should.
As he should.
Ethan, my bestie, my ally. Anyway, yeah. So,
but for those who are watching, who've never done this before, feel free to comment live. We're live, so we can see your questions if you have any or any comments. We can put them on the screen. We've never done this before, so feel free to comment along.
Bring them on.
Yeah. Live. Notes, baby. Notes.
And
we all know I'm good at taking notes.
We know. You both are great note takers. So before we get started, anyone on the cast you want to talk about, anyone you've got your eyes on, positive, negative, etc., this is your moment to just highlight anyone before we get into it.
I mean, I can say a lot of things at any time.
I can say a lot of things too. I just have to say that I think I'm obsessed with Sammy and also confused. I'm both. I am both of those things. But I don't think Sammy's the mole. I'm just gonna say that right out the gate. I don't think so.
If she is, what is she doing?
I'm obsessed.
If she
literally,
maybe not. My favorite
wearing a purse everywhere she goes.
She's like the epitome of go girl, give me nothing. Like that's her energy fully at all times for no reason.
For no reason, but I'm also like, I think I have my eye because people like that to me. I'm like, oh, what's going on in here? And what do you know? And how are you already like 10 steps ahead of me? Like, that's where I'm like watching Sammy in a sense. I'm like, is Sammy gonna like shoot? Like, could Sammy win it if Sammy's quiet? Like, is Sammy gonna give anyone anything? But then again, is anyone gonna give Sammy anything?
I think before we get into it, Before
I know,
we
I
can-
got really into it.
I am going to say something that
Hmm.
I think we're all going to expect me to say, and then I'm not going to bring it up again. Why the
Okay.
fuck are these motherfuckers coming out here paying however much money to play this game? I know this is live CLC. I don't want this shit cut. I don't want it cut. Why are you paying all this money to come out here and not fucking try at anything? You don't. There are so many ways to be a mole decoy, and you're not going to sit on the fucking ground? You're not going to try to single the goddamn challenge? You're not going to do anything? Why'd you fucking pay to play? Why are you out there? Oh my god. I literally, they are so lucky I was not on this cast. I would have been fucking throat punching some bitch. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand to look at it. I watched the episode twice. I watched it twice. And the second time I was
Are they
eating dinner,
too?
cutting my pork chop down to the plate because I was irate. I was irate watching some of those fuckers do anything. Okay.
I'm crying, not to speak on it.
Oh, Bessie, you're the one I'm speaking on.
I was gonna say Sterling, babe. I think she's referring to you.
Sterling was sitting. I forget
What
who it
are
was.
you-
Sterling and Ben? Or Sterling and... I forget who it was.
I wrote it down.
Sterling was Taylor.
Oh my god.
Taylor, that's who. Taylor.
Okay, I won't. That was really the. There's more. There's so much in me. There's so much rage in my soul. But I will get into it later, if at all, because I just can't. I can't keep going on like this. But it was infuriating. And to that end, someone who has my eye is Ben, because I think that Ben is obviously the most outward perpetrator of the I don't care, I'm not going to try it all in challenges. I'm going to randomly take photos that are not of the things I'm supposed to take just to be a menace, giving Carson energy. All that to be said, the mole is not an alliance-driven game, and that's fine. Doesn't have to be. You can win the game by yourself if you want to. But you have to consider the fact that if people actively don't like you because you're throwing every challenge so aggressively, people aren't going to want to give you information. You have to be a likable deterrent, a likable saboteur. You can't just go out and be like, I don't give a fuck about you. Because everyone's going to be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about you either. And I'm not going to tell you anything.
I can tell you anything. Yeah.
Even if you're the mole, people have to tell you information. You have to know where people's heads are at to know if you're doing the right stuff. If no one wants to talk to you because you're being a fucking little brat, you're playing a shitty game. Even though you think you're so high and mighty because you're detracting all this money from the pot. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. I'm done. Okay, we can.
Oh no, you're fine. And we do a roundtable for all of our players, and like that's probably one of the biggest things we took from season 2 and added to the season 3 roundtable is like, feel free to be a decoy. We don't care. That's your fucking game. But know that if you do it in a way that's real shitty, you're gonna find yourself isolated, and no one's gonna want to help you, and no one's gonna talk to you. And I think some people learned that the hard way this season when they get railroaded in missions and they don't want them to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
They get babysat. Like, you learn it the hard way. And it's, while it's not an alliance game, you still have to be liked in this game. So that's the hard part. That's what makes the mole so hard. Like, the job is the mole. You need to sabotage, but also be well liked. You need to infiltrate the groups and to make people feel good about you, but you're also need to be a little shit in the missions. It's a very hard role to play. But it gets worse. There are people who it gets worse.
I can imagine.
But Ben is Carson's friend, so
oh my god.
Oh,
he learned from the best.
That makes sense.
Let's hop into the mission that takes up a majority of the episode. It's called Confiscation. So each player competes in a mini mission to earn money for the pot or personal advantage. Each player, after competing, will then need to defend their earnings to another player who will have the ability to confiscate those earnings. So if money is earned and is not confiscated, that money goes to the pot. However, if the money is confiscated, then that money turns negative and reduces the pot. If an advantage is earned and is not confiscated, the owner keeps it. And if it's confiscated, the confiscator will take that advantage. So our teams... We'll go through as we see them in the episode, but our Trivia Connections players, God bless them, Taylor, Steph, Stephanie, Sammy, and Ben. Our Basketball Shots players are Ian, Michaela, Julia, Alex, and Cooper. And our Details players are Jabbar, Colby, Sterling, Emily, and Liz. All right, let's hop into the first trio. So as you see, they each compete in their own separate mini mission, and they all kind of do a triangle of talking to each other. So Stephanie's on connections, which the connections team, I don't know what's going on over there. I'll be honest. I wasn't hosting that side. I don't know what was going on, but they are given 5 trivia connection puzzles. Each puzzle has 4 trivia questions, and the answers to the trivia questions have something in common, like a New York Times connection. And they have a list of about 25-ish options to then put the right option on the board. So realistically, as long as you get 1 or 2 trivia questions correct, ideally you can figure out which of the connections apply or don't apply. Like, I didn't expect them to know all the trivia answers, but like one of the connection options was Taylor Swift albums. And if you know one of the answers is football, you know, okay, that's not the connection.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be that hard, but they did quite across the board horribly.
They did bad. They did bad.
Love them dearly. We have our details. Sterling's on details. There's 3 tables of Scrabble tiles, and there's just 10 questions that are very detailed. You hear, I think Emily does the best job of, and I think Jabbar as well, of like saying the questions out loud. It's like, which of the following letters is not represented? What's the most common vowel on this table? What's the longest word you can spell using these words? Something like that. So very detailed questions. And then Ian is on our basketball shots. 3 sequences of colors. You want to replicate as many sequences as you can by making basketball shots. The rim was fucked up. Not my problem. We didn't know it was fucked up when we got there. But I think that impeded a lot of their ability. So I give some of them the benefits. But
sure.
That is good to know.
So I'll give them that. But let's talk Stephanie, Sterling, Ian. I'll pass it over to y'all. Any thoughts on anything that they competed or their interrogations, all that fun stuff?
I miss Stephanie, and we'll talk about her probably throughout this whole thing, but I've got my eyes on Stephanie. I think I don't know. I mean, I played forever ago. It was my very first game. It was Big Brother with Miss Stephanie. So it's been a really long time, and it was not mole format, but I just like Stephanie's good, and Stephanie's smart, and I think Stephanie's good at the mole. And even like the first episode and this episode, I'm like, girl, I feel like you're better than this. And so I don't know, maybe she's like trying to downplay, trying to hide. Maybe she's playing it a little, I don't know. But, and she said she wasn't good at trivia, which like maybe, but they were all really bad at that. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know.
I feel like what are the odds that every single person would be bad at it? Like, I feel like some of them had to be throwing, but I'm pretty sure, isn't Stephanie in Trivia League when we play? Doesn't she have a team? And she's shit. So. Isn't she shit on her team? I'm like pretty sure her team is bad, or she is bad on her team. And I will be objective and say this was over a year ago that I would have played against her, and I have very little memory. But I do feel like her team would regularly roast her for being bad at trivia.
That's correct. Her team made the playoffs the first season. Her team did not make the playoffs this past season. She was in the
So I'm gonna stand by. I don't think Stephanie is good at trivia. I will say that. Does that mean that she didn't use that to her advantage to poorly? No.
Right.
But I do
right.
I do think that's facts.
Yeah, I do think that, I mean, maybe like spoiler, I don't know. Like we know everyone should have watched, right? Like who cares?
Yeah.
I think that Ian is a fault of his own choice of how they're playing. Because I don't think people are giving Ian information, and I don't think Ian is someone that people are wanting to play with. And I think you can see that in the first episode, and you can see that here, which is like, what are you doing? And I feel like you should have a lot of information. Like you found those things. Like, I don't know.
No. What? Why do you think if you found 4 envelopes that all look the same in the first day, and you said, this is legit, this has a seal on it with an M, even though the game is called Subversion. Let's use our little brain here, buddy, and recognize whatever the fuck's in that envelope isn't going to help you. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. It's giving someone clearly brought this and threw it to the dumbest person who would open it. You.
Right. And would go find it.
Respectfully.
And found 4 and was like, why isn't anybody else finding these?
Honey.
Yeah. You'll see who's behind it to kick off episode 3. But yes, someone brought the box and the envelopes. And he spent most of his day, his only day, focused on that. He isolated himself from the group.
Can tell. Well,
Yeah,
you can tell. I'm not going to study this. I'm not going to. It's like, okay, well. And I think the way that, I don't know. Sterling also. Sterling also, girl, you're smart and you're also better than that. So I don't know if that was a little sabotagey or if that was just a little, I don't know what's going on with Sterling. Maybe trying to be decoy right now. I'm not buying Sterling's the mole currently. But.
Agreed. She said she was like trying to move really slow because she doesn't care. And like she is giving I'm not trying mole. Like very outwardly like that. I don't care about this mole, which is I feel like her and Taylor are going to be like fast friends about that this season, sitting down together at the challenge. They're both being like, I don't care how much it goes in the pot. But then I also wonder like how much do they actually trust each other, to like share real information, or are they just going to be like little bosom buddies who just both detract money from the pot for not giving a shit?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't buy that either of them is the mole currently. They're not
correct. Same. But Stephanie is one of mine.
Stephanie is okay. So Stephanie was on Connection. She earns $3. She could have earned 3, 6, or a +1. Didn't do very well. Only earned 3. Sterling, as we've already talked about, took her sweet ass time. Sure, could have earned 3, 6, or +1. Only earned 3. She's easily she's the worst performer on this team, on the details team. Everyone else on details did at least got in the second tier of earnings.
I feel like you could have in details.
Yes, it should have been.
Like,
I don't think she even leaves table 1, to be honest. There's 3 tables, and I don't think she leaves table 1. And then Ian does quite well. Could have earned 4, 8, or a +1. Earns 8. Anything from the confiscation pieces. So you have Stephanie, Stephanie is defending her $3 to Ian. Ian obviously confiscates it. He didn't really care what Stephanie had to say. That was kind of his whole thing. Is like, I'm going to take it anyway. Might as well. Maybe there's a personal advantage. I'm going to take it anyway. Sterling had the same MO when Ian's defending to her, being like, bitch, I'm taking it from you no matter what, which costs $8. And then on the flip side, Stephanie allows Sterling to keep her $3. Don't take my baby. And Stephanie did not take her baby. Any thoughts on those before we hop into the next group of individuals?
I think the thing I thought was most interesting, and not just, I guess not even specifically with their group, what was the logic that people used as to why they didn't take the money from people?
Yes.
I think obviously there's like the selfishness of, I want this advantage that you might have for me. But in my mind, the logic specifically, eventually, to skip ahead just a little, the logic that Colby uses to not take the money of like, I think not taking this from him will boost my relationship with him and thus give me more information in the game in the long term. I think, in my opinion, especially seeing how hard the comp was, if you go into connections, if you're Stephanie, and maybe that's why she chose not to, is like, and you see how hard yours was, you must know it must have been equally as hard for everybody else to make it to their exemption or +1 level. So it's like, what are the odds someone actually made it? They're probably pretty slim. There's maybe 1 or 2 people in the group that actually did well enough to get an advantage. So in my mind, it makes way more sense to play the long game and not take someone's box because the odds of them having an advantage are most likely pretty low.
No, I agree. I think was going to say, I think that seeing people's logic going in, like, I think there's a few people who said it doesn't matter what anybody was going to say. I was going to take the box. Like, this was going to be my chance to get an advantage, potentially. And I thought that was interesting. So I'm like, is it really that high of a chance you're going to get an advantage here? Like, I don't think so, but sure, like, depending on what people say, fine, I get it. But I agree. I think that this could have been an opportunity as a player or the mole. I think even especially for the mole to gain favor with people, to gain trust with people, to not steal someone's thing. I think there was opportunity here, going back to like, it doesn't have to be an alliance to play this game, but you do, like, also it's very similar in mole and in traders. Like, it doesn't have to be an alliance game, but like, you need people. You need people. And I think this is an opportunity that you could have built that. And I don't think it was. Yeah, could you have gotten an advantage? I think I don't know. Maybe as more people went, and you got it more of a sense. I guess they couldn't really talk much afterwards, could they?
No, so
never mind. You probably couldn't get really a sense of what was going on. Yeah, never mind. But,
yeah, like, just after seeing your challenge, so maybe like
I just doing your I
could see the details people, since their challenge was easier, maybe being more inclined to steal just because they got further in their challenge. But the people who are scoring 0 points, like, you really thought that the other person was going to make it to the end of their challenge and you couldn't even beat the first level? Like, come on.
Well, and we're going to see this when we talk about other groups too, but you can also see people who are really trusting each other also not take each other's boxes or like let each other have or like trust what's in there. Like you can also see that start playing a role. Like I think Sterling really took Ian's just straight out of like, I don't know if I trust you. Like I'm taking that. Because like I don't think I trust you. Right.
Straight up. The last thing I'll comment on this group, because most people took the approach of I'm going to tell the truth. Or in Colby's case, he downplayed what he had. Obviously, he wasn't going to come out saying he had a +1. The only person who inverts it is Sterling. Sterling kind of indicates that her box has a good chunk of money in it, which I would not indicate $3. It's a lot of money. But Sterling does take the opposite approach, which I don't know how the cast reacts to that. But I did find that to be slightly an interesting tactic to try and maybe convince Stephanie to not take the box, despite it only having a minimal amount of money. So, like, had Stephanie taken it, it wouldn't have been a huge loss. But she's the only one to go the opposite of everyone else's strategy. But I'll head to the second trio. Oh Lord, what a trio of people. Ben's on connections, Jabbar's on details, and Alex is on basketball.
Oh my god, I could watch Alex shoot those basketball. I watched it twice. I could watch it over and over again. What does he say at the beginning? I don't want to like disappoint my brothers or something. I don't know. I was dying. The walk away, not even getting the basketball, iconic. I couldn't. That was so great. That was so great.
His commentary.
He's so tall. He's so tall.
He was halfway to the hoop, baby. It didn't matter. It didn't matter one bit. It was the granny toss over the fence. It was just it almost like at first I was like, okay, like no one's watching you. You don't need to throw this hard. And then I was like, oh no, I actually think this is I'm giving up out of maybe a little bit of humiliation and embarrassment of like I can't keep doing this to myself was kind of the energy I got by the end of it of like I simply can't do this anymore.
With all
all out of love, Alex, love and respect.
Well, so why'd you choose?
No, it was great.
Well, why'd you choose that team?
Yeah.
It was like the best shot? Who's gonna shot it or something?
Yeah, I forget the exact title, but
they didn't know it was gonna be basketball.
They didn't like technically know, but the title kind of indicated it, and they've been at the house for now over 24 hours. Like there's a basketball hoop over there.
Like, was it the house? It wasn't even at a park?
No, the whole house has a tennis court and a basketball hoop. The house we got was ridiculously massive. So yeah,
that one.
Him and Michaela, I both side-eyed, being like, "Why are you in this group, babe?"
Bestie, Michaela, you can't even make it to the hoop, girl. You're fit. What are you talking about? Your arms aren't that weak.
I love Michaela, but honestly, Alex, like I do think Alex was maybe it's just not good, but like you're so tall and like I'm just like really. And maybe it was the hoop. I don't know, but I don't know. You're telling me you can't just like, I feel like I could have done somewhat decent and I'm short and I'm not that great at basketball. And I feel like I could have maybe done better than that. You're so tall. You're so tall. I don't know. So that was a little weird to me, but also really enjoyable to watch. Jabbar does lie, right? At the
he's honest. He says that he has $8. Yeah, he says.
But I think he lies about the challenge. I think he lies about what he did. I think he says it was like a quiz. I think they were like asking. Yeah, so you're right. So he tells the truth about the money, but
what's going on.
He does overinflate it a little bit, which I was like, that I don't know. I don't think you needed to do that, honestly. Maybe I just know Jabbar too well, but I feel like I could. Maybe I just knew he was lying, but I feel like you could tell that he was lying.
I am interested though because I feel like that I don't think Jabbar is also not on my mole suspect list, but I do think that Jabbar doing that, like that's a dumb lie, right? Like it's a dumb, useless lie, but it's the type of lie that's like, now who was the person Jabbar was against? I don't remember if it was Ben or
Ben.
Okay. Now Ben goes back and is like, wait a minute, cross references with anyone else in the house who did that challenge. Is like, why would Jabbar lie about the challenge that he did? Like that
seems weird.
It's a trackable but small lie, and I feel like in my mind that's something mole-ish that they would just like lie about something small that they don't think will get caught. I don't know if it's really super relevant, and maybe it won't be, but I could see like small, maybe trackable lies like that are kind of more under the radar being something that actually draws legitimate sus to a person, as opposed to like fucking taking 600 pictures.
It was truly, especially if there's going to be this many people who are trying to be so much of a decoy mole, or if there is a mole that is playing really out there, maybe these small little things can catch on. And so if you're not the mole, someone like Jabbar like that is smart. It's maybe small enough. Yeah, so
this group's not super great. So Jabbar had $8 in his box, was defending it to Ben. Ben takes it. Which that was a whole, we talked about it in the episode 2 thread, that Ben and Jabbar's confiscation interrogation was a lot more personal about like Jabbar's life and not necessarily about the challenge, not too much. So Jabbar was quite surprised when his box got confiscated because he was like, damn, we have this whole like heart to heart. Damn.
Interesting.
Crazy. So Ben takes it, which costs $8, and then Ben and Alex don't have any money in their boxes because they did so well in their portions. The thing is what you're talking about, Sam, is like this idea of taking or not taking, and how can you build bonds, etc. There's no risk to taking someone's box if they say they have zero. There's no risk, but yet Alex lets Ben keep his $0, and Jabbar also doesn't take it. So I still think that would be like, hey. I trust you that you don't have any money here. I'm not going to take it when there's no risk to taking it. So
exactly.
Very interesting, but I do love Alex's confessional being like, I didn't expect Ben to have anything more than $0 anyway.
Yeah,
that man is committed to earning no money.
I literally wrote down Alex is reading Ben for filth, and I loved it because Ben is going to be on my last nerve every fucking episode until he inevitably gets eliminated for not having a single lick of information.
And he will get on these people's nerves very quickly.
Ben slightly reminds me of the mole of the game we played.
Oh God, fuck him.
Yeah.
He was so annoying.
He was a lot worse, and hopefully Ben, I don't know. Hopefully that's a bad comparison. But it was giving a little bit of that vibe for me, and I was like, "Oh God, please do not tell me they picked somebody to be a mole." That's like, yeah, it's giving that, and I hated it. So
that just gave me some PTSD.
Sorry, Ben.
Jesus. Alrighty, let's move on to trio 3. This trio cracked me up. This is Taylor on connections, Liz on details, and ex-collegiate athlete Julia on
I'm sorry. Is that true?
It's true. She plays collegiate basketball. It is true. 100% the truth.
Okay. All right.
I thought the same though. I thought that Julia was gonna get all the way through 3.
That's like your only job.
That's it.
At this point. It's just like do well in the one challenge people expect you to do well in. Like
basketball.
It's okay though. Teach their own. She did her best, maybe.
Maybe.
But also, I feel like
it was a men's basketball. Okay, apparently.
And the hoop was fucked up. People have said that.
It was fucked up.
So,
I will say though, in her defense. Oh shit! I just lost my train of thought. Well, I was going to say something nice about her. Maybe that's why I lost my train of thought. I'm not a nice person.
Oh, there's because it's nothing nice to say.
Could you imagine? It was.
Yes.
No, she's gone. It's out of here. That's live TV for you,
Nice.
folks.
That's why it can't be
That's
nice.
okay.
Yeah, it can't be. Oh, I did have a quick question, a clarifying question. I believe in the first group they said you cannot move the tiles, and Liz moves all the tiles.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
We really just meant to not move tiles between tables because then it would fuck up the quiz answers. Ideally, we didn't want them to touch the tiles anyway, but like as long as they didn't move the tiles to a different table. Ultimately, and the mole was told this as well, like, do not fuck this up. Because we want everyone to have the same opportunity to win an advantage as well. So like, if you go second or third and you fuck it up for the people after you, then like they don't have the same opportunity to win an advantage, and that's not fair.
Yeah, like if you throw away the paper or something.
Yeah. It's just like this is the one time we told them all, do not fuck it up in other ways. Do not.
Sure.
If
That's
you're
fair,
on the tiles, don't touch them. But that was really it. So like, we didn't want them to touch them, period, but as long as they didn't move between tables. But yeah, reading is difficult for Eller ears and Orgers, but Liz is not an Orger. But nonetheless, instructions are hard, even though they read them. They read them with their own eyes. But you know what? What can we do? So let's get to the interrogation. So Taylor earns a whopping $3. Whoop whoop on connections. Woo! Liz earns 6 on details, and Julia earns 8 on shots. Taylor's defending to Julia, and Julia has a very similar mindset to others, being like, Taylor can't tell me nothing. Yeah. Like, I'm taking it, and the shit he be saying is only convincing me further that I'm taking his damn box. So that loses $3. Julia's defending to Liz, and Liz lets Julia keep her $8. The ex-collegiate athlete earns $8. And Liz is defending to Taylor. And Taylor's just a hoot. Taylor's making Liz look him in the eyes and tell him again how much is in the box.
Say it again. Say it again to my eyes.
And Taylor decides to confiscate the $6 to another minus money there in that case. But any last thoughts on Taylor, Julia, and Liz?
This was my favorite trio of the challenge. I love all three of them individually. Julia, especially for the second challenge, which we'll get into. I think I love Liz's energy, and I think Taylor's just an absolute nutcase. In like a way that's a little bit more endearing.
A better way.
In a better way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I've obviously met Taylor and I would consider myself friends with Taylor in some capacity. So maybe that's why I feel that way. But he will get on my last nerve by the time he's out of this game. I'm sure of that.
When did you meet Taylor?
I think at Subversion.
Oh, at the finale party last time. Okay.
I was like, I've definitely spent time with him.
Okay. I was like trying to run my brain, like, what game would you all play together?
But anyway.
I thought Liz, I don't know why, honestly, Taylor took her box. Liz felt really believable to me. I don't know. Liz just feels believable to me. Liz just comes across somebody that I would really trust, and I don't know what that says, but Liz is just someone who I'm like, I trust you. I trust you. Maybe it's her face. I don't know. Julia, I love Julia, but I also don't trust her as far as I can throw her ever. I don't trust Julia. Never have, maybe never will. So
I feel like Liz talks with a sense of like authority and logic. Like her like tone of voice just sounds like self-assured, but also like logical, but also like I have so much doubt. She like mentioned having so much self-doubt at one point, and I'm just like, everything about you screams believable and genuine. Like she just really, I think she's going to be, if people start to think she's the mole and she's not the mole, I think she'll be a great mole decoy. Anyway.
All right, let's move on to the fourth group. My goodness. This is Steph on connections, Emily on details, and Michaela on basketball.
I'm sorry. So Steph gets fork in breakdancing and says songs from musicals. Are you fucking kidding?
I was dying.
I think this
it might be that one.
Bitch! Stop! Oh, I almost closed my laptop the first time I watched this. I was like, are you kidding me? Humiliating.
It was bad. Steph had me dead.
Anyway, that was my main thought on that one. And then Michaela fucking airball, bitch.
Airball.
all of them.
Try harder.
They said, you got 3 minutes left. She said, I got 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna call it. I said, as you should.
This isn't for me.
He's the one person to really take advantage. Some other people, yes. Some people were like, gave their next person like 5 seconds. Whoop-de-doo-day-day. But Michaela gave 2.5 or 3 minutes to Cooper to let him take on more time. That was an ability they all had. No one really took advantage.
Right. No one took that. I noticed that. Yeah.
It's just really Michaela. So, I mean, good on her to at least go, I'm awful at this.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
Might as not eat up time.
So
So Michaela and Steph, I think my favorite was them two talking to each other about their boxes and just giggling over like, we got nothing. And I was like, they are being so, and I think that they seem like they might already be allies. I think maybe even Steph said that in a confessional. So like you could tell there's like some trust there built up, but you could also tell that it's also very believable that they got $0. But I loved that. That moment was really cute to me.
No,
I liked their confiscation conversation too. I like both of them as players. I think
I do too.
Steph, she lost me a little bit when the first confessional of the episode, she said, I don't really get the like tie, no tie thing. Like, so it doesn't matter to me. What don't you get, bestie?
I know.
If they play an advantage, you don't get to know. Like what about that is there not to get? So I do fear Steph is on my mole suspect list for a number of reasons. One of which being that's not a difficult thing to understand, bestie. So if you're really playing to the bit of like, I don't get this.
I don't know.
You're going a little bit too hard for me. Like first fork and break dancing. Now this,
but Steph might like really not get it though. Like I think that could be real.
I don't buy it. I think she's playing into that bit more. I think she maybe could be a little airy, but I think she's playing into that bit more to get that perception around her to maybe
sure. I can see that. Yeah. I could see that for sure. Also, no one really cared about not knowing if it was a tie or not. Sorry to like totally backtrack on all that. I would slightly care.
It's real. That's the thing is, in this cast, I think we talked about it during Mole Watch. This cast is pretty green to the format. Okay. Like Jabbar has good experience. Emily has good experience. Stephanie has good experience, and everyone else is either brand new or like played like a mini or played a game like a decade ago in the case of Steph. So, and we talked about this also in the last after show. Like, no one's going to forego an advantage for that information, but the information is valuable. And if you can prevent everyone from even having an advantage in the first place and don't even give anyone the option,
sure,
that's great. It's one of those things you don't realize how valuable that information is until you're in that spot being like, I just took a big risk on this quiz and I want to know if there's a tie or
I need to know. Yeah.
It's one of those things you don't realize how valuable it is until it
happens.
Like Simona when she went out using 2+1s and there was no tie. Like that was crazy intel for season 1. And like had they not had that info,
right,
it becomes a lot harder. Season 2, I mean Carson and Sam and Madeline all took really big risks on quizzes and they got a lot of that intel out of knowing if there was a tie or not. So that info is valuable and losing it helps us. But
Right.
Yeah, they don't realize it till they need it. But this the fourth group, so Steph had no money. She was defending Michaela. They giggled. And here's the opposite effect. Michaela still took it. I mean, Steph gave her permission. Steph's like, take it. There's nothing in it.
You can take it. Yeah.
But Michaela takes it. Michaela's defending to Emily. Michaela has nothing. Emily takes it. Doesn't have any effect because there's no money in it. And then finally, Emily is defending her $8 to Steph, and Steph has a whole confessional being like, you know what? She swore on the Wingstop, and honestly, I'll let her keep the box. It hurts my heart to let her keep it, but I'll let her keep it.
The number of emotions that Steph appears to go through in that one confessional where she's like laughing and then crying and wiping. I'm like, you're experiencing
a lot. She's got
There's so much happening here.
So many emotions. Hysterical. And honestly, there are barely any cuts in that. Like, she literally is going through this range of emotions.
She's phenomenal television. She's
she is
amazing.
Fabulous. All right, let's get to the fifth group. I know Brent's quaking as I say. Sammy's on connections, Colby's on details, and Cooper is on basketball. Cooper has an additional 3-ish minutes.
And he still doesn't make it to the
Still
last
doesn't do
terrible.
it.
He's terrible. With all love in the world.
I did write down, Cooper, good form, but come on, why is everyone so bad at basketball? That was my note on that sentence. Now knowing he had 3 extra minutes.
Even worse.
Triple bad. Quadruple bad.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes. But he still earns 8, so
Yeah.
he still does well, but when you have almost 2 times the amount of time as anyone else, you'd think he would have done a smidge better.
Better.
A little bit better, yeah. Disappointing.
The shots didn't look that hard though either.
No,
they
we
weren't
didn't
that far
look that
away.
far from the hoop. Like, we saw the hoop was fucked up and, like, moved some of the
That's
tape
why,
closer.
Alex, you so fucking tall. How was them not getting in them damn baskets? Alex, I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it.
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't buy
No,
anyone being
don't
that
buy
bad
it.
at basketball. Like, you could, it just didn't look
Yeah.
that hard. It just didn't look that hard.
No,
But I
I
guess,
don't think it
I guess
was.
it was.
I don't
Anyway,
think
my main takeaway from this one is that Colby is probably the worst liar I've ever seen.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like,
yes.
I could have been blindfolded and deaf and known that Colby was
That was
lying.
so bad.
He was like, "Oh,
That
well,
was
I just
so bad.
literally the first thing he said was, I got 8 plus an exemption, but I only got 7. He like backtracked at the end, was like, I only got 7 right though. What? Colby, honey, you were,
It was
I mean, there
bad.
was just there was nothing. He was obviously lying. Sad.
It was bad. It was bad.
Um,
But Sammy read that so well. And Sammy was like, no, you're good at this. You're good at stuff. I'm taking that damn box. And I said, yes, you do, Sammy. Yes, you do.
Father.
And she sat there like this.
Also, what I think I maybe
so
identify
obsessed.
with Cooper a little bit because his whole reaction sequence to sitting there after Sammy was like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. No, she was actually, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I
It's
don't
bad.
know. Like,
It could be both. I'm obsessed
I-
with her. Oh my God.
I would have erupted if I was across from her. I would have lost my goddamn mind. And the fact that he kept together, kudos to Cooper, because she was just like, but also, listen,
I
Brent
love it.
is who he is.
Mm.
All that to be said, he has a point here
Mm.
with his commentary in the VL of there's no point to add distrust and dislikability to yourself in this experience, especially
Correct.
this early in the game. Like, all Sammy did was just like
Yes.
sever a tie between her and Cooper. Maybe she doesn't want to work with Cooper. Maybe she has no intention of being his ally or learning information from him. But like being so weird and like, I think actively frustrating him intentionally. Like, that is the piece that I'm like, you didn't need to do that. And being unlikable in a game like this is not a good strategy. So I think that was the part. Like, if she just like lied, go for it, girl. But like
Right.
trying to not answer his questions, I would have lost it. I would have lost it. Good
And
for
she
Cooper.
didn't have anything, right?
Nothing,
No!
nobody, nothing, not a
Right?
zilch.
Which is even better. Which is
I-
even better. No, I don't disagree with you.
I'm in the Sammy hive and I won't hide it. I thought that was fucking hysterical.
It was so good.
It was so unnecessary. Yeah, I agree. It was
Yes!
unnecessary as fuck, but I live
I'm
for it. I just think that's so fucking funny. Just to be like, I'm just gonna irritate him just for shits and giggles.
Just to do it.
And she's a hard one to read because she's one of the only people coming into this game who nobody knows. She's one of the
No
only
way.
people.
Ah.
Yeah, she's one of Carson's friends from med school. She was in the military, so she just already is difficult to read. But no one knows her. So
She's using
I
it.
just
Yeah,
thought that
for her.
was so funny.
She is using it. I am seriously obsessed with her. And I do fear that if no one knows her, but then if she's also already playing a little bit more coy, hard to read, pull back, like, okay, you need someone, you have to get, like, information is so important here. And so I do worry for her on that a little bit, but
Especially if she's green to the format too, right?
Mhm.
That's going to
Yeah.
be a really
she might not know. Yeah.
sell, to like eventually get the information she needs to play the game well. I could see her going out sooner rather than later because I do not
Yeah.
think it's the mole.
No, I don't think she's similar either.
All right, well, that wraps up the last group. So Sammy had nothing, irritated Cooper to the point that he's like, fuck it, I'm just taking her box. I don't give a fuck because she won't answer my questions. So screw it. You don't get to keep the box. Colby has the +1 and Sammy properly takes it. So now she has the only advantage in the game. And then Cooper had $8. And we've talked about Colby's rationale being, I want him to be an ally, so I don't want to break trust with him. I want him to keep his box and show that I trust him. So overall, they lost $1. So bravo to them. So the pot's now down to $51. And let's head into the last challenge of the round. It's been a long day for these people, so they're tired. And I know
they're tired. Steel, they're sitting on the ground. I know.
Let's hop in.
They tired and they just forgot what all of their answers were. Anyway.
Yeah, so this is perfect combination. So in each round there are 4 questions, one for the tens digit, one for the ones digit, one for the dimes, one for the pennies. About
those are actually the tenths and the hundredths.
Yes, those would be the tenths and the hundredths. Mm-hmm. So about the dossiers, their casting interviews, things that they hopefully should remember because these are things that are personal to themselves or things they clicked on the preseason quiz. There was a couple questions like, who do you think the mole is based on first impressions? So then they're allowed, and each question is a numerical answer based on how many people on the cast it applies to. And if they put all the answers correct in the proper order, they win that money for the pot. Quite simple. Everyone just has to communicate and be honest about what they selected. Well, it started off great. Round 1, I mean,
I was excited about that.
Did very well. And I was shocked because it was looking a little nervous because they were teetering between a couple numbers. I'm like, oh God, let's see if they pick right. And all credit to Julia to at least gather them. Obviously, she can't make people tell the truth, but she's like, hey, people, here's the first question. Raise your fucking hands. Period. Great. That's the number. Next question. Like, they just needed some organization to get something going. Because without her, they just would have stood there yelling over each other. When this really is just simply, let's go down the order. Yes, no, great, move over.
Move on.
So round 1 went really well. They won 1973. We rounded up to $20. And then it goes pretty downhill from there.
Yeah.
And there's 2 rounds we cut out because it got bad. Like they were always 2 numbers wrong, if not all the numbers wrong. Like they were really bad. They never got close after that.
Oh,
it was 2, 3 wrong. It was bad. So we cut out 2 rounds because it's like, let's just not watch the train wreck. Let's just give you a taste of the train wreck. And
I did wonder. I was like, wow, 3 is not a very long challenge. That's so interesting.
There were 5 rounds.
Yeah.
It got really bad. It just got to the classic, I don't remember. I don't know. People are sitting down on the ground, a la Liz Sterling Taylor. It just got to the point where they're like, fuck it. It descended into madness.
This is what confused me. What confused me is like, are we all sabotaging right now? Like, are we all wanting to not earn money? Like, at some point, you put in money in your pot.
So and also, Ben at some point during the episode said like, well, the money will just trend up. No, it won't, King. You gotta try. The money's not going in. You lost $1 on the last challenge. That was your overall score. Like, you have to have someone willing to try. There has to be a Matt and Sam in the equation. Otherwise, you will not get any money. So I literally I will kiss the ground at Julia's feet for putting some semblance of order in this challenge, for at least trying. And I do feel like the other person I wrote down that seemed like they were trying to like rally troops was Jabbar in this challenge. It seemed like he had a good voice of like, he was answering quickly and be like, oh, I did this. What about, it seemed like his voice was also in there, which I appreciated because it's just like, again, there are so many ways to sabotage a challenge. You could just simply not raise your hand. You could raise your hand and say, oh, I think I saw that on somebody else. Or I think I remember that when it was 5. Like there are little ways to sabotage this challenge that will eventually get back to you, right? That people will eventually be like, oh, Sam said there were 5, but there were actually 4. Was she doing that on purpose? Other than just acting so fucking disinterested in something, I think maybe it's just, I can't not try. We all know that about me. I cannot try. But like, I think there's something else to be said about the fact that like there's a whole crew of people who put time and energy and months of work into this game, and your strategy is to be like, I'm gonna say fuck everything you did and just simply not do it and not try. And maybe that just makes me mad for my friends, and you aren't allowed to be mad at my friends who put their heart and soul into this game. But I just think it's lazy. I think it's poor gameplay. I think that there are better ways to sabotage than just being like, I don't remember, I don't want to do this anymore.
So I will give, Sterling has mentioned it, and I don't remember how much she was trying to organize, to be honest. This challenge was a fever dream. And like, it was a chaotic disaster. It's like 9 o'clock at this point. We've been going. I mean, they were up at 9 a.m. they got their journals and shit at 9 a.m. We didn't like start filming till noon. But at this point, it's been 12 hours since they've been up and had to been doing shit. They're exhausted, and also just like it's devolving. By round 5, Taylor, Liz, Sterling are like, fuck it. No one's listening. No one's contributing. Now, do I think sitting down was the right option? No, but I will give some benefit of the doubt there.
But that's fair. But then that speaks to what I felt early on, even during the first round, even though they got it, it still was like, by the grace of God, to be honest. Like, I'm still like, are we all sabotaging? I think that was the thing that was so frustrating when I was watching it, that as a player, I would have been frustrated with by the last round of like, okay, we can't all just keep lying. Like you're not all the fucking mole.
I think that's the thing too, is I need people to realize that like, you can be a mole decoy all you want, but if every person in the game is a mole decoy, you will never get information that you need. Like the mole will stay hidden for longer and longer.
They you will
eventually go home. You'll go home because you won't know who it is. Like, it just, I don't know. I feel like the mole's going to have the fucking easy as cake time this season if everyone doesn't try. Ever.
Well, I think that's a good point, because in a moment like that, the mole can thrive in that. Okay, be decoy. Everyone keep lying and sabotage. And 1, I don't got to do much, or 2, I can just play it up even more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to see it because you're seeing everybody else do their stuff. I don't know. It was really confusing to me. It felt like everybody was lying, and it was. Jabbar. There were a few people that obviously weren't. Julia. Eldest, I don't know if she's an eldest daughter, but that was such an eldest daughter. Like, oh man, when I saw her do that, I said, exactly. That is exactly what I would have been doing. That's why Sam and I were allies. Like, we get people into shape. Like,
that's the hard part, and we try and highlight as much as we can on the round table as well before the game. Like, it's a hard game. Like, there's benefits to being a decoy, but you have to toe that line really well. Yeah. You need to be likable and approachable, and people still want to help you. While information's currency in the game. And like, while people are going to lie to you with information and tell you the truth in some cases, like, information is better than no information. So you have to, and that's the hard part, is like, people don't want to try in the missions because they want to look like them all, but you also need to try. So people want to value you. It's all a very hard game. But yeah, you have, again, it comes back to, you have to be likable. You want people to have to work with you. You want that. And that's just a hard toe to line. And also, the winner wants money in the pot.
Right, so, like, that's the other thing too.
To break some way.
Like, you have to have money.
Like, I'm coming out here trying to break even on what I spent getting here, right? Yeah. Like, I want my flight to be paid for ultimately, and at this rate, they're not making it to Columbus, Ohio. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's like, there's got to be money in the pot, and this thing's the mole. I mean, well, I say that, and that's not necessarily true. I was going to say the mole is going to try at some points. That's not always true. The mole might just sabotage blatantly in everything. And try and make you think that they're just being a decoy when they're actually just the mole. But like, more than often than not, the mole's going to try in some instances. They're going to add money to the pot because they want to be liked and trusted. So if the players do nothing but take money out of the pot, then like, congrats. Like, the pot will be nothing, but also the mole just typically doesn't just sabotage everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, being a true mole decoy is ebbing and flowing. And I think that maybe we lost sight of that.
They're ebbing.
Yeah, only ebbing.
They are ebbing.
Alrighty. So we get to the quiz and execution. We say goodbye to Ian. Are there any thoughts on anything that was said in the voiceover to the quiz, or anything you want to say about Ian heading out? But that brings us to the end of the episode.
I think I kind of said already what I wanted to say about Ian going out at the beginning of like, I think just how Ian might have been playing and maybe not as focused on building some of those connections or getting information or being maybe a bit too much that people didn't want to talk to, I think is ultimately what led Ian to the downfall. In some of the voiceovers, a few people are kind of suspicious of Michaela, which I found a little surprising. I don't know. I'm not. I'm obviously not there, but
in my
that just
opinion,
surprised me.
It's giving Michaela is giving like it girl energy. She's giving Sarah energy.
Yeah.
Like, and I think they're just so high on
Yeah.
season 2. They watched it right before they came
That
out,
makes
and they're
sense.
like, Sarah's hot and cool, Michaela's hot and cool, mole.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
they're
that makes
transitive
sense.
property.
I can see that connection. But
100%.
I was a little surprised. I was like, oh, really? It's like, I don't know. But
I
cool.
also I thought it was so interesting, both Taylor and like kind of Ian as well, because Ian was like, "Oh, I'd make Michaela the mole if I was the showrunner, right?" Like, and yeah, Michaela again has it girl energy.
Sure.
She would be a good archetype for a mole, but also like a majority of the people on this season were probably cast because they had the ability to be the mole. Like, right? You don't cast people that you don't think are going to succeed on the show in one way or another. And one of the ways to succeed is being a mole or a mole decoy. And so when people like Taylor and their voiceover are saying, well, I'm looking at people who have that star quality, who I would cast as the mole as a showrunner. That's a horrible, horrible quizzing strategy because playing the meta is not a way to win the game. It's not a way to win the game. It is a way to lose the game because you're trying to look into your own personal biases and perceptions. And that is bad.
Not what's in front of you.
Horrible gameplay. You need to play logically. You need to play with self-doubt. Don't go in thinking, I would make this person the mole, so they're the mole.
Yeah.
It's the first way to lose.
Television is a bitch.
Yeah, unless you're right like me, obviously.
Yeah, unless you're right and you tell the right person, you know, it's hard to be right.
All that to be said, something I did think was interesting though was that Sammy and Ian both gave very different descriptions of Michaela when talking about why they suspected her as the mole. Ian said she's very basically very it girl. I would cast her as the mole. Everyone really likes her. And Sammy said that she was sus of her because she was very quiet. And so I'm interested why their perception of Michaela was so different. I have no other comments on that. I'm just curious.
Michaela is on the quieter side for sure, but she does have that star quality. You just look at Michaela and you know that she's kind of that bitch because she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she is very quiet. I will attest to what Jeremy is saying. Michaela's on the quieter side.
That's interesting.
I noticed that Liz looked very calm during her quizzing. She looked weirdly calm. I don't know if she was locked in or if it was giving like a I don't need to care about this.
I don't need to care. Yeah.
Because I'm not going home.
You know who I thought was giving too much, I'm so nervous, I'm going to go home energy that just seemed over the top to me was Stephanie.
Interesting. You're such a Stephanie hater. Well, you're a Stephanie Moeller. You're a Stephanie Moeller.
I'm a Stephanie Moeller. I don't know. I don't know. It was just in that, it's like, I don't know. In that moment, it was like, I know you're nervous. They're all nervous. But like no one, I don't know. I mean, Sterling did like, I don't know what, like faint or fall out of the chair.
She fell out of the chair. She leaned back.
Like actually fell?
Yeah, she leaned back because she was so like ecstatic to be safe and fell backwards.
Oh, well, dear God.
Okay. Which was great at
Sorry,
11:30 at night
amazing.
to have that comic relief.
She's okay. She's with us today.
Yeah, she's great. She was good. She got right back up in the chair. We're all good. But yeah, no, that was wild.
No, I don't know. That it just felt like I don't know, too much. It just felt too much. It felt too much. I don't know. Liz does seem kind of cool, calm, and collected, and maybe that's why I would trust her. I don't know. Maybe Liz is the fucking mole. Liz, don't be the mole. I'm trusting you with my heart, girl.
Liz is one of my mole suspects, just because she played. She was also during the execution. She just seemed really calm and collected,
like just chilling.
And I was just like, I know. Maybe obviously not everyone is like as insane as I am, but I remember emotionally I was losing my mind the first exexecution. And so I watched that part really, really closely too, to look at people who had nervous tics and nervous all these things. And I knocked out. I was already pretty sure, but like there is no physical way that Cooper is the mole. I would bet $10 million Cooper is not the mole for a million reasons. But the number one is that you can't move your leg. You cannot bounce your knee that fast unless it is the nervous energy.
Cooper seems so nervous.
Funneling through you. He was
Yeah.
terrified. He was terrified, and he was the whole time until his name came up. Other people looked nervous at first, and they lost it as it went on. Like Steph. I think Steph came in nervous, and then by the time her name, she was like one of the last names called, I feel like. And she was just like, boop-a-doop-a-doop, like, I'm just sitting here, and not a nerve in her body.
Yeah, the cast commented, because they have their own safe space chat, but they were commenting on how nervous Cooper looked because he's in the front row, so most people didn't see him. They were like, Jesus Christ, Cooper, like, you look like you're about to have a heart attack in the first row.
He looked like he was going to throw up, truly. Yes. Like, he did look pretty nervous.
Like, holy shit, sir. Like, take a breather. It's just a game.
I don't think you can, like, I could see someone maybe doing that for a second and then maybe calming down a little bit. But like, if you didn't, I know because I did the same thing. And you could tell the second I felt like you could tell the second you looked at me in the first episode, I was not the mole because I was, my whole face was red terrified. And so I see that in him as well. And I would be flabbergasted if he was the mole.
See, it brings me back to Stephanie and other people. I forget who they were, but every photo that came up, I think it was the first time seeing people's photos, I think, which is like fine. But if I'm a player, like there was so much like fun commentary on like people's pictures when it popped up from Stephanie a lot. And I forget who else was like, there were other people making little comments, which again, maybe is fine, especially if you're somewhat relieved. But this is such like a tense moment. And I felt like these like, oh, like your eyes look so great. Or like, oh, look at that pose. Like you could tell there were certain people who were not commenting or when their picture came up were not like Colby was another one. Like, I don't think he was saying anything about like his hair and everyone was like, oh, Fabio. And he was just like,
he was my other one. So like,
okay, out. I don't think you're the mole. Yeah. I was like, I don't think you're the mole. But there was people who were like having a good old time at that execution of seeing people's pictures. And I'm like,
yeah.
My Apple Watch went off. Every execution, if I was wearing my Apple Watch, it would go off when I was playing because my heart rate was too high.
Skyrocket. Yep.
That's so funny, actually. That's really funny. I honestly, like, now that you say that about Stephanie, I follow you. I feel like I track that, and it puts a little bit of sauce back on her in my brain. Just a little. But similar to what you said, I took Colby off of my mole list entirely because of how he was at that execution too. Yeah. I just feel like him and Cooper looked like they were gonna die. They were gonna physically die. And I mean, Colby had every chance to. He was like one of the last people called. Yeah. So like he was in it looked like it was building in him and building in him and building in him. Like he was pretty calm at the beginning. And then as it went further, he was like, oh,
you could see.
And then you could see it in him. And so I don't actually think he was called at all. I think he was maybe I don't think
he was. Oh no, he might have been.
I don't remember.
It was either the end or the middle at all. Yeah.
Yeah, almost everyone was. It was a pretty long execution.
Lee, that's Lee's job is to horrible taste and pick the last.
I'm crying.
Anyways, love you, Lee Bestie.
Well, that brings us to the end. Unless you have
I'm coming on for a minute, live breaking the wall. I have to explain myself here. This was not my incompetent speaking. I am going to give you a revealed secret. So, this season, we did something a little different. I didn't know who was leaving, but I knew who maybe was leaving. So they would do a little thing because we didn't want to do the thing like in your season.
That happened like 3 times.
That happened like 3 times where the last person was executed. Yeah. And so before the execution, Foser comes up to me and says, it's one of these people. It's usually like 2 names or 3 names. And it's like, it's one of these people. And so I knew who the 3 people were, but I just wanted to see everyone's cast photos because I hadn't seen them yet. So I selected a bunch of these people who I was just like, I just want to see their cast photos. That's all it was.
That's funny.
You're so drama.
Oh my god.
Tried to prevent a little bit
of drama.
So of course the victim Ian was in that grouping of people. I don't even remember who the other 2 people was. I remember I was given 3 names, but I was given 3 names, and I just said, I'm going to save them, but then I'm going to save a couple of people after them so that way none of them can be last. That was my piece. But yes, so both Cooper and Colby were called. They were both kind of towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah.
Because you also kind of see who's feeling nervous and you kind of like to highlight. I mean, I'm here to make TV. So.
Disrespect.
It works.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Poor boys.
Alrighty, so it brings now to time. So I'll say goodbye to Ian. I mean, Ian, it's never fun to be first boot. It just isn't. And
no, that sucks.
We don't wish it upon anyone. But from a production standpoint, I was quite happy that it was someone who wasn't being suspected. Because ultimately he was so focused on the box and the envelopes that pretty much everyone had written him off.
Yeah.
Which you'll meet who's behind it in 2 days, but their whole intention of bringing the envelopes in the box was to see who would harp on them and see who would be so focused on them, and kind of rule someone out, being like, why are you focused on something that is fake? If you're the mole, you wouldn't care. So
that is interesting. Yeah,
and y'all clocked it. I mean, he outcasted himself because he was so focused on it, to the point that he was hiding it as well. People knew he had this box and the envelopes, and there was a couple people who thought it might be real. So it was irritating that he was hiding it in his personal belongings, which is off limits on our games. If you put something in your bag, it's off limits. I don't want people rummaging through your fucking shit. That's gross. So that was irritating people, being like, why the fuck are you hiding it? That's disgusting. Don't do that. So like it also created a lot of tension amongst certain people. Luckily, it went out, so we didn't have to worry about it, because it was getting to the point they were complaining to production about it, being like, it's not fair that Ian's using the rules to hide this box. And I'm sitting there being like, if only you know that it's fucking fake.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Stop bitching to me about it. Like, it's not real. But you'll meet who's behind it at the beginning of episode 3. But
I want to guess.
Oh yeah, please guess.
I think
it's behind it.
You think it's who?
Emily.
Oh, Emily.
That's a good guess. I don't know. Emily or Ben, but I don't know if Ben's actually smart enough to put that all together. And like
it feels a little try-hardy for Ben, you know? Like
it does. That's what I was gonna say. It feels a little too try hard. But Emily, that's a good pick.
Good pick.
I could see it being Emily.
I think she has the strategic brain to think of that ahead of time.
It did happen on her season. She wasn't, when she played in Ohio, someone else on her season did the same thing. So he did not do it, but someone else did it. So I mean, she's not a bad guess for that whole, maybe she stole that idea and brought it into this game. Who's to say? But it's not your time to pick who you think the mole is and who the winner is. You only have 2 episodes, so again, it's so hard. But I hand it over to you. Your moment to shine. Stake your claim.
I mean, I've been saying it the whole fucking time, so I'm just going to stick with it. I think it's Miss Stephanie right now. I think that's what I'm sticking with. Currently. I don't know.
I don't have enough information.
I don't know.
It's round
and I have a lot of feelings, but I'm gonna go Liz.
Ooh.
Liz.
It's a good one.
Steph is up there, and I think if Steph is still in the game in 3 rounds, she will skyrocket to the top of my suspect list. But based on her style of gameplay, I expect her to go home soon. And if she doesn't go home soon, I'm going to be suspicious of it, because I'm going to wonder how she's still in. But I think Liz, I expect to stay and do well.
Yeah, I expect Liz to do well. I could see Liz winning if Liz is not the mole.
I was almost going to double down and put her as both.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of faith in her. I do. And maybe it's just that like blind, her whole persona.
That's same.
She would have been our third. Oh, missed out.
She would have been our third. Oh, Liz, play with us. She would.
Liz, avoid it, Liz. Stay away. She's just played it my thing.
I honestly think Stephanie could win too if Stephanie's not the mole. I was also going to say that.
Yeah.
I think I won't double up on Liz though, as much as I enjoy her and enjoyed her this episode. I I could see who had good logic. I feel like I see Cooper potentially doing well. I could see him potentially being a contender well into the game. Or I had someone else too. I think
Jabbar.
Yeah.
I think if Jabbar stays likable, if Jabbar can even be somewhat of a decoy so people are going home because they might think it's him but then aren't because he's likable enough. Like I think Jabbar could play. I don't think Jabbar's the mole, and I think that Jabbar could play it well, but I could see Jabbar making it far. I don't know if Jabbar wins though.
I think I just have a lot of faith in Jabbar as a player. And I think that's why, but I don't know if his skill set is best suited to this game. So I'm curious how it will transfer.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious to see how long he's in it and picking up on the strategy of even like the quizzes. Like I'm just curious, like if that stuff clicks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, maybe. But
agreed. I think he could put himself in a position to get the information he needs. I'm curious if he will use it appropriately.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think that's fair.
All right. Well, that's it. You cemented it. It has to come true now. And if it doesn't, womp womp.
No, womp womp.
You know, going early is always better because the people who go at the very end of the after shows, if you're still wrong, then
right.
Embarrassing. Yeah, it's okay if we're wrong. You weren't.
Yeah, if you're wrong, who cares? Oh, you have one round of it. So, all right.
Plus we're pretty.
Huh?
I said plus we're pretty, so it's good.
Of course. Yeah.
Pretty and cool and smart and fun. So
and the server loves you, so y'all can do no wrong. So it doesn't matter.
I know.
Can't do it wrong. So episode 3 is in 2 days, May 28th, 9 p.m. Eastern. A week. I don't think live. This was great though. So we didn't Jeff Probst it. We'll be back live maybe to do it again at some other point in time, but not next week. We'll be back at 9:00 next week. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Come join us on Discord. Come do the fun stuff. We're piecing on out. Lee, get back in here. Bye, everyone.
Bye.